Yo, hey everybody here, Jay Takashi. Uh, just not getting off of work. And This episode of Game of Thrones, season 8. Sorry, season 8, episode 5 is wow, 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 wow. I have so many problems to the point where even last night, as I went to work today, I could not stop thinking about how much they screwed up. Like literally. Like is a cluster. This is a cluster f of a whole bunch of crap that just doesn't work. And with what they're doing this season, since I know it's been rushed to me. It's been rushed. The pacing has been fine for the most part, but after this, I was just like, okay, I gotta address this. I have, and before I get to addressing a couple of things, um you need to know I have been following Game of Thrones. I think around season 3 was out, and my friend had recommended that I watch this, and my stepbrother. He had talked about, it's really good. You should give this series a chance. I watched the first season. I'm like, okay, I'm hooked in. I like this. So yeah, I've been following it since 2013. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's about the right timeline. But oh, hold on, give me a quick second, guys. I apologize. Sorry, I had to close the door. All right, excuse that. All right, now back to what I was saying. All right, first of all, I'm gonna get into at least at least the important, the not the super important stuff out of the way, but I'm gonna get the other stuff out of the way. Then I'm gonna get to the major thing that is Daenerys Stormborn, Targaryen. All right, first off, we pick up where we left off, episode 4, season 8, and where Varys and Tyrion have found out that Jon Snow is literally the next heir to, no, the legit heir to the Iron Throne, Aegon Targaryen. Now, I pretty much foresaw Varys getting killed this episode, and not because of some preview that showed me, because his death was always foreshadowed that he would always die, and they did it, and there were hints and also context clues to let you know that to let you know that he was going to die by Daenerys. Once Daenerys gave the order, he would be dead. Tyrion being in the situation that he's in, because Tyrion has made a lot of screw ups. He's made some mistakes that has Daenerys question his loyalty to her, and as a result of that, I feel like he's trying to like make up for all his loss to Daenerys. He's trying to get back in her good graces, if nothing else, like he tried with his father, at least. And throughout the scene, throughout the scene where when he walks in on Dany, she's she's saying like, yeah, someone has betrayed me, and it's Jon Snow. And then Tyrion's like, no, it's Varys. It's literally Varys. And I'll address Jon and Daenerys later on, like I said. So Varys pretty much gets told on by Tyrion. Sorry, guys. He gets told on by Tyrion, and then Varys has done things for Tyrion, like getting him out of King's Landing, and I can't remember if that was guys. Remind me, if it's season 4 or season 5? I think it's season 5, where he finally left King's Landing, or at least 4, where he got him at King's Landing and he helped him out and try to persuade him to go to, try betting on a better candidate, which was Daenerys. And he helped him out. He really got him out of that drunken frenzy he was in, and place your faith in someone else who deserves the Iron Throne, like her. Believe in her. And Tyrion did. I'm not saying Tyrion was wrong, and I don't think it's a confliction of his character. I think he would have. He's Hand of the Queen now. What's that now? He's been Hand of the Queen since when Dany appointed him, and he has a job to do. And I understand why some people will question why would he give up Varys like that. It's because it's his job, and he's been letting Dany down, so he needs to get back in her good graces, as I said earlier, and try to reprimand that to show that she was not wrong to appoint him Hand of the Queen. And Varys gets killed. In his last moments, he says, "I hope." He tells Tyrion right to his face, "I hope I'm wrong." I'm like, okay. I didn't have too much of a problem with that. Too much. It was fine. I was like, okay, yeah, Varys is gone. So she pretty much sets Varys on fire, and that pretty much segues. To the next scene we get, as when should talk about it now. All right, I won't get into her just yet. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. But Tyrion finds out later on in the episode that Jaime is being held by freaking by Daenerys's guard, by the Unsullied, and what he sorry guys, and what he does, he pretty much labels that your brother obviously wasn't too far away from her. So apparently he did not leave her side as much as you thought he did, and she just has him as a prisoner, as far as we can tell. So I was like, wow. Oh man, Tyrion. And also there's also a scene with Tyrion where it's like, where he's talking to Daenerys in the court before they get ready to do their. Daenerys has been in multiple situations where she's been counseled by the people where you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, and she does take to heart what she needs to do, even if it means breaking a few eggs, literally, because you can't. I'm one of the ones that believes you can't make the world a better place without getting your hands dirty. And I know there are some things you have to do that is questionable. That I get. But Tyrion pleaded with her and let her know, like, if they ring the bell, they surrender. There's no need to attack whatsoever. And Daenerys just nodded her head like, okay. But I don't think she was listening to Tyrion. I think honestly she just did that just to hear what Tyrion wanted. But we'll get more into that. Okay. All right. Let's get into freaking Honor. He's done some fucked up things, but he's been on his redemption arc for like the longest of times. And we saw a change in his character, and I really like that they did that. In this season, D&D just throw that completely out the freaking window in this episode that they did. I was like, you left Cersei. That powerful moment is in the end of season 7, last episode, where she pretty much says to him that no one walks away from me or disobeys me. If he has a mountain stand right next to him, as if like he's going to kill him right in front of him, just because he doesn't want to freaking listen to her, and his honor to like actually help the Northerners with the coming White Walker threat. And he just bounces like, I don't believe you, why you would do this. And that pretty much signified Jamie's freaking understanding of Cersei's character throughout throughout the beginning to the end of season 7. I was down with that. I believed it. He was hurt. He was done with Cersei's bullshit, and that was the end of it. It makes his, to me, sleeping with Brienne, the what past 2 episodes? Yeah, past 2 episodes ago, is it's just labeled as fan service. Like it's just a waste of his character to me. Like it should have been literally him and Brienne. I'm not saying this is what I would have wanted, but I'm saying what needs to make concise sense of this. Jamie was not meant to be that character to go back to Cersei to me. If he was to go back, he was supposed to settle his own dilemma and problem with Cersei. But the way that it ended up with him dying with Cersei, I was like, no. Okay, honestly, I was never believing that he was going to kill Cersei, but I do believe that he, in some way, he would have at least went out a different way than the way he went out, because it just makes his character arc so pointless to me. It's like there's some context clues in here that are not being set up well, right? I know he loves Cersei, even though that is his first and only love, but it's almost it's like they contrived it in a way that didn't make any sense to me, as if it was missing something. But I'm really upset about that because I was loving Jamie Lannister's arc, and they just completely shot that in the freaking water. I don't know what the freaking writers have been doing, but yeah. Now let's get into freaking okay, Daenerys Stillborn. I was gonna do Arya, but I'm gonna do Daenerys now. Okay. This is probably the most what the hell moment in all of Game of Thrones to me. This made absolutely no sense. It had no context. And even though the writers had said that, this is personal for Dany in this one scene where she freaking decides, when she takes out all the scorpions and Euron Greyjoy, okay, but all right, I want to say something by the way, so I don't seem all negative about the entire episode. The part where Dany flies in from the sky and just wrecks Euron Greyjoy's freaking Iron Fleet ships was freaking epic. I thought that was a very well cut scene, by the way. I'm not gonna take that away. I actually enjoyed that part. Like, okay, she's putting in work with one dragon. She means business. I love this. This is actually Dany that I want to see, doing shit, and not just saying that she'll do something. I talk about it like she's actually doing her shit like she always does, which I need to see from her. But the choreography for that was amazing. I love that scene. I love how they really cut to like how powerful that dragon fire is. It's really really freaking awesome. I love it. Um, Nonetheless, let's get in there. Dany, for her entire character arc, from the beginning to where she is now, as I've said for other characters previously, her whole character scheme is to throw down tyrants, to not to and to save the world from monsters, as Tyrion would prove it, and she protects people, the innocent people who have been who've been wrongly oppressed, judged, hurt, raped, all that. She has been the beacon of hope, as you will, which is why so many people cling to her and love her. What the freak were D&D doing or thinking when they decided to say, you know what? Let's just throw all that out. And Danny just goes on a freaking burning tantrum. She she goes out of her way to not just kill freaking the Lannister army and the Golden Company army, which they were freaking pretty much all hype and no play. Mace Jackadaw boy, that freaking irritated me badly. But she burns the entire freaking scope of King's Landing. She burns innocent people. She burns kids, women, sorry, not children, men, all innocent bystanders as collateral damage for for just her being angry at the fact that, which doesn't make sense. Her anger would be more justifiable in that scene if it had been more build up to it. I know, okay, and I know some people online are gonna probably say, well, Masande died, Rhaegal died, Jorah's dead. There's nobody there to really, keep a handle on Danny. And I get that to an extent, but the problem is that doesn't it's not enough. We should have had at least two more episodes where we see Danny make this really alternate Mad Queen change. Now, I knew she was gonna go Mad Queen. Personally, I did, but at the same time, I thought it would be one more push you would need in order to make that freaking, you know to make that leap into that transition of that person that she was going to turn into the Mad Queen. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. This has been on my mind all day. I've never seen this is the most inconsistent writing of an episode that I think I've ever seen. And let's get into the biggest thing. I'm not done with Danny yet, but I'm gonna get into Arya Stark in the next 2 minutes. But back to Danny. When the episode started, we can already see Danny has like literally lost her, like is like completely lost. Like her will literally has broken from that strong person she used to be is not there anymore. Her resolve is not there anymore. It's really not there. People would assume because she's riding Drogon in that episode where she's blowing them all up. I mean, yeah, she has the guts to be on Drogon and blow things up right now, but she's not doing it because of what she's been doing previously. She's doing it for a completely different reason, and I never felt that was her at all. Now, I have been a fan of Daenerys' character from, like I said, from beginning to end of season 7, and I'll say a little bit of halfway of season 8 right now. I'll say to like the end of episode 3 of season 8, because I was really liking how she was acting, and at the same time, because she was actually trying to make peace with Sansa. But well, I just went out the freaking window too. Okay. Let's get to Arya Stark. This, I know I said I have problems with Danny, but this is the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. Arya, I know Arya had come down to King's Landing with the Hound, to kill Cersei. Then the Hound persuades her throughout some time to freaking, yo, you shouldn't be here. You're gonna end up, if you really want to end up like me, you're gonna end up dead. Go, go home, get out of here. As Daenerys is burning all of King's Landing down, and buildings are dropping on everybody else. Arya, I mean, the Hound convinces her to get out of there, and she leaves. Which I will say this: the one payoff that I did get in this episode was the fact the Hound versus the Mountain. I think that was the most decent, well done thing in this episode. That was a payoff for me. I'm like, thank you. I actually got what we wanted to see. The Hound and the Mountain beating the hell out of each other, or finally getting rid of each other. And the way they ended it off, either I'm like the Hound just freaking tackling the freaking mountain multiple times, trying to stab him and everything, and he just at the end realizes that wow, even no matter what I do to him, this guy freaking just freaking takes anything because of what a Kyburn did to him, and he freaking football charges that dude right out of the stored debris of the freaking castle, and they charge right down into the abyss of fire, fall right down that abyss. I was like, okay, I'm not mad it ended up like that, but that was gonna happen regardless. I foresaw both of them dying at least. Maybe there was gonna be a team up between him, Arya, and maybe the Grey Worm. That was probably my own thought, but that it still worked for me. But back to Arya. Arya was protected by so much plot hole. I'm sorry, not plot hole. She was protected by so much plot armor in this episode that it did not make any sense whatsoever. It Like she should have been killed in 6 scenes. Sorry, 6 scenes of helping helping others trying to get out of King's Landing or getting to a safe place. I shouldn't probably say get out of King's Landing because there's no way they were going to get out. They were going to burn to death either way. But they should have had at least some safe haven place where they could like go somewhere and hide. That was a good cover for them. But throughout this, I have to really wonder what the writers were thinking in this scene because like this is just ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the whole chasing scene of we followed Arya through the fire and the disaster, people running around in different catacombs and stuff like that, or different areas of Keylands and buildings and everything. Oh, sorry, my mic. But the amount of plot armor is ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, I have to have suspicion of disbelief when it comes to a series, no matter what it is. Where it's like, what, that's plausible. That could happen. This was just, like I said, fan service, hype juiced up to the max. Plot armor. Arya is completely invulnerable to every freaking danger that every dragon fire breath that comes down near her and kills everybody around her but her. I'm like, no, that's just freaking stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Um oh, and the biggest thing is why the hell did a random white horse come out of her way when everybody around her was burned at the last few minutes of the episode? As if that horse was just magically there in front of her. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. Oh my god. D&D, you guys deserve to be slapped a couple freaking times for this. This makes no sense. Why y'all would do this? Why? Why? It's fan fiction juice to the max, and it does not make any sense whatsoever. Um, yeah, the way they've been handling the characters this season have not been good. Arya has been fine, has been half good. I liked her. Sansa has really. I should get into Sansa really, but I'll do that for a separate video. I'll give you guys my problems on that later on a different separate video that I'll decide to do later on when I get some other of my friends and we'll talk about it. But okay, I should talk. All right, let me get Jon Snow guys out. One more character, Jon Snow. Jon Jon Snow's whole role this season has been not good for me. It has not been. Besides the first 2 episodes and maybe riding on Rhaegal in the battle against the Night King, I've been very disappointed with how they've been treating Jon Snow's character. All this hype for him and the Night King did not make any sense for me. When you let Arya kill, no. You don't let Jon Snow kill the Night King. You let Arya do it. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm upset at that because that should have been that should have been Jon Snow's, his bread and butter, taking down the Night King. He could have taken him down. He would have struggled to do it. Maybe lost the arm or somewhere hand, but he would have still did it. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. They could have did that. But Arya taking him down, I'm like, come on, guys. Come on. And not only that, Jon Snow's whole relationship with Daenerys has become stale like cherry Pop Tarts. I'm sorry. It is still like a freaking butter, like a piece of buttered toast. And his lines throughout the whole freaking his lines throughout the whole entire series when it comes to narratives, you are my queen. I don't want the throne. I love you. And what else? You're my queen. He's limited to like. So I probably said the same thing 4 times, so I apologize for that. He has said the same. He has said the same thing on repeat, copy and paste, the same every freaking episode, and it is getting irritating how they have cheated, how they have freaking treated his character. It is disgusting. It is appalling, and it irritates the hell out of me. I have been invested in Jon Snow for so long, and y'all treat him like this. It is bullshit. It is stupid. It is retarded, and is done by incompetent people to me at this point. Well, we've got one episode left, guys, and I'm wondering how they plan on ending this because either there have been some theories that people say that Arya is gonna freaking kill Danny now after what she's witnessed, which might be the case, but at the same time, I don't want that to happen because if Arya gets 2 big kills in a series, that is complete bullshit to me. But hopefully, Jon having to stop his men from freaking get caught in the chaos what Grey Worm and his freaking Unsullied were doing to the entire people of King's Landing and stabbing innocent people, raping people, just what the heck, having a slaughter fest in there. And at some point, like Jon has to realize, like, dude, you freaking been deceiving yourself. You realize this that she can't be saved at this point. Like Daenerys just like if Daenerys dies next episode, then that's fine with me. Because technically she had to die anyway from after what she did without any reason to me. Just like, yeah. For the context of the story, I'm pretty sure that might happen. I don't know, but if it happens, great. Doesn't, well then let her kill her. So yeah. Alright guys, this has been Jay Takashi. Peace and have a nice day.